Watch out for those little toes.
Are we live?
No.
Is anyone alive out there?
I don't think we're live. You got to press the go live, brother. Dang. You're live now. Ding, 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 ding.
Whoa. And we're back
What do they see? I think they still see.
with
Are we
another
lag.
exciting episode of the Who Invited Will podcast. Well, that was a humdinger.
That's what we call a TD in the industry.
I feel like we're all crooked too. Oh, we're all discombobulated. My headphones. All right. Well,
Technical
after
difficulty.
a rocky start, we've slowly managed to get ourselves. If I have to listen to this damn theme song one more time, I've been listening to this thing for minutes on end. All right. Well, we're back. Finally, we made it. Hopefully the GoPro lasts. If not, we might have to go laptop style. Might have to go, gorilla style.
Laptop.
So as you
Hear
all
us
notice,
out on the black top.
as you'll all notice, to my right and your left is Will Trainer, but to my left and your right, Neil Schneider's not here. He's working hard. He's got a lot going on, and he asked if we could fly solo, but I guess it's really fly tandem, right?
Fly duos? Tandem.
Tandem
Sounds better.
I'll be the Maverick. You could be the Goose to my Maverick.
I think Goose dies, so I don't want that for
Well,
myself.
Everyone dies. Well,
Did you see the new one?
no, did you?
Yeah, it's actually okay. I would say the first 3/4 of it were actually awesome. It was really good.
I have popcorn stuck in my teeth. This is
Then
terrible.
it just gets a little too much at the end.
Corny.
They just had to keep it upping it, and it's like
Got
all
hot
right,
peppers
guys.
in my teeth. Sorry, everyone watching me pick my teeth. So wait, you're saying it gets to like they try to go overboard?
Yeah, no, they do. They
do
don't
go
try.
overboard.
They do.
No.
And it
Oh,
was
shit.
so good.
I think it might be this thing
The beginning was
because
so.
I tapped this and
Oh,
it made the
interesting.
camera go off.
It was so good
Maybe
at
the
the
GoPros
beginning.
working also.
Like I said, the first 3/4 of the film, if they would have just ended it with the mission, that's all I'll say, it would have been amazing.
Was it Mission Impossible?
Get
Get it? Because it's Tom Cruise. I feel like every time I move this, it blacks out. Now I'm terrified of touching anything.
Anything ever.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it. I vaguely remembered the first one, but it was like just before my time. Like people who are like 36 to 38,
Yeah.
or I would say even like 38 to 40,
Yeah.
or maybe around 40, or maybe 42. Well, maybe I would say 38 to 42. 42?
Sure. 44 maybe?
44. You know when people do that when they're telling stories, they just fixate on
Yeah.
some stupid little
Yeah.
detail like that.
Was it I-25? No, I think it was I-70. It had to have been I-70.
Well, no, because I passed that gas station. You know, the one that their sign's broken.
Yeah. And I don't know. They need to fix that.
Yeah.
Like, it's been out for
It's
2
on,
years,
definitely
Daniel.
on 70. No, wait, that one's on 25. What am I saying? Yeah, they just keep going back and forth. No, but yeah, I didn't watch it. I feel like I heard something recently about those 80s movies, which is like it's really hard to recreate that vibe without making it like parody or
Do you
satire.
know what that vibe was?
What was the vibe?
Specifically that?
Was it that they're all secretly gay? I feel like we talked about this already on an episode. You were
Really?
like, look, they're all gay. That's what it's about, them being closeted and needing to come out or something like that. Is that the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know all the
Oh my
accuracy,
God,
but
a
there's-
viewer. Thank you.
Mr. Chandra in the building. Thanks for joining.
Oh, thank you, Dad. Yeah, Neil's not here. Everyone is just us right now. But Neil, Neil I think does most of the promotion and marketing. And as you can see, Neil's chair is open. He may show.
I guess
He
I
may
could
not
try
show.
and look it up and try and find the link and then send it to people.
Oh
but
God, yeah.
it's a whole thing.
It's over. I mean, they'll catch
They'll,
the replay.
they'll catch us on the replay.
Did Neil text? No, he didn't.
So yeah,
text.
that's it. Was a good movie though. I mean, I think it's been so long since I've seen the original too, but now it's funny. Like they just have to hit the same scenes.
Yeah, it's
So-
like Star Wars. They do that. They just remake the same Star Wars movie with like different people and a slightly different Darth Vader.
Exactly. And I've heard something about that too with Star Wars. It's like when you've created this whole universe and for some reason they're just stuck in this like 30-year period. And they just go before it, and then they go after it, and then during
it's
it.
the same family members, the same family. They all married each other, and then they had kids, and somehow.
But then that's what they're saying. Like, now that Disney owns it, you could make it into something super, super cool where you create all brand new characters.
Right.
Well, and I think they tried that a little bit with Rogue One.
But it's still...
And it's still related.
It's still the same story.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what... Yeah, I was watching... MMA podcaster Luke Thomas, he was saying like the same thing. He was just like, it's really hard to care about like, oh, the Empire or whatever. It's like the same old thing. And I think that's also why the original movies were so awesome, because you were just like, you felt like you were watching one story in a whole world of potential stories.
Yes.
I mean, did you ever watch the show? It's not on the level of Star Wars, but The Expanse.
No, I think I watched a couple episodes with you. Is that on Amazon maybe? And it's
I think it started on like Fox and then
okay.
went to Amazon because it got canceled and Amazon picked it up.
And then like all the nerds liked it because it's like, oh, they have the anti-gravity or whatever.
Yeah, the boots that stick to the. Yeah. I mean, it's just so stupid because like no movie could recreate what it would actually be like to go to space because it would be so terrible. We would all just like die of radiation poisoning, have like bone density issues. It would just be like really bad. So like the idea that like, oh, they're trying to be faithful to what it would really be like. It's like they're also like working with a non-periodic table alien element that can build whole planets. So it's like, I don't know. I don't get why you need to stick to like making sure the boots stick to the ground and you show that every time. It's like, we get it. They can, they have technology that helps them stick to the ground. Yeah, exactly. Literally every time. Man,
that is good. That's
exactly. Nerds are like, God, there's
it's so historically accurate.
They're not playing fast and loose with the laws of physics.
That's actually a really good point that like I've never seen that really what's the word? Kind of drawn out of where yes, you lose bone density. Like, well, and I guess maybe the one that was maybe kind of close was like Interstellar. They had that stuff where it's like some of the one planet was super dense, so then it was like if you go to the planet, it's actually warps the space-time. And so then 5 minutes on the planet is actually 50 years back on Earth. Like some of that,
that theoretically was cool. Interstellar was cool.
Interstellar was cool. And then they had like the, I think that's even
Tesseract.
Something.
No.
Oh, I don't remember that. It's like a gyroscope, and then they turn that on, and then that actually gets you back to gravity. And so you can kind of create artificial gravity as you're flying.
With a gyroscope?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, some of it's cool. But, like, what were we talking about? Star Wars and just, like, how lame it is? Yeah.
Well, or that it's just, like, you have a complete universe and you just pick the same... Like, you just have to keep doing the same thing. Just beat it to death.
They're just playing it safe. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They're just playing it safe, like... Well, we know this story is sold tickets before, so if we just like slightly tweak a few things, so maybe if like kids can't recognize it's the same story, we'll be able to like
let's just
double down.
We'll black character.
Yeah, or like.
But then that's the thing too. That's just so.
Jar Jar Binks. They tried. And he was the most racist black character.
But then that's the.
Well, the black character. Have you seen how he just pops off on Star Wars?
Yeah,
because his story. He was supposed to be like a main character, and then they just like were like, oh, conservatives don't like that. He'll be like the mechanic.
And I think that gets back to really the issue
playing
is
it safe.
There's a lot of people that this is what I know. How could you try and add a person of color into this or someone gay?
They get
like,
so mad. Yeah.
They wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
That's
not canon.
In the world I want, they don't exist.
That's not canon. Jesus. That's not canon.
Yeah.
It actually, in the extension books, it's like, who cares about that stuff? All people want to see is an entertaining like show. I mean, and that's the thing to me where it's like it's like with politics, maybe it's a good segue to talk about the elections, but like with politics too, it's like that 10% of people who give a shit that like Ariel is black or white or whatever, they're just like the loudest people on the internet. But most people won't even notice or care. They're just like, okay, it's like, yeah, I assume there's black people in the universe. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, yeah, obviously. But like, and race and other races and things, but it's like, I don't think they make shows like that anymore that are like risky. I think like the internet kind of, it's just like with stand-up comedy or anything, like having the internet and podcasts and like constant feedback, now like the industry has started listening to that too much and being like, oh, this is what people want, instead of like trying to find somebody who's really creative who has ideas that seem original
outside the norm.
They're just like, let's just crowdsource our next movie. Oh, people love episode 4 of Star Wars. Okay, we'll just remake that. And like, it's all just corporate.
Yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog, you liked the game as a kid? Okay, yeah, let's make it a movie, right? I mean, there's all that stuff that it just like...
But like, apparently the first Sonic was so creepy. Like
they had to change
They had to literally reanimate the entire Sonic.
Yes, which is hilarious. That, again, right back to it. And I mean...
This is the show without Neil, by the way. Without Neil,
we just
literally no one shows up. It's just like, oh, Lord.
But that is a really interesting thing too. Is does become a lot of that, like, at least when there is that continuous feedback loop, then for them, I mean, they saved that movie, I guess, right? Or like, I think people went and watched it afterwards, but it would have just bombed before if they would have released it how it was. So, I mean, I don't think that feedback is necessarily a bad thing, but I do agree that it can become excessive to the point where, no, that idea is original, that's too risky.
Yeah, and also I think the backlash is what people are worried about, because they're worried about if there's a backlash against them, then people are gonna it's gonna like sully their reputation, and then people aren't gonna buy the next thing, or it's like, that's what I think mostly, like, when you're looking at like famous people or actors or entertainers, like, what are they looking for? To Gina, Jenny, hello. I'm gonna turn that light down too. I'm freaking going blind. But like that's what like they look for with actors, I feel like, or like even with like UFC or like fighters or athletes of any kind. I mean, that's why everyone hates Kyrie Irving and Kanye West now, because it's like all they look for with actors and entertainers is like, could I put this person's face on Tide bleach? Could I put this person's face on Cheerios? Could I put this person's face on like whatever the blue chip marketing brands are in the world? Like, could I attach this person's image and face and likeness to that, and then will people say like, oh, I love Cheerios and I love LeBron James, finally the two things I love together? That makes me like subconsciously
buy 5 of these.
Yeah, or like, oh, LeBron James has a limited edition Cheerios thing that gives you a coupon to shoes. Like, the corporations own all the apparel and food and like everything, so it's like they try to like stitch together these like networks of like economic networks, and I feel like they just need marketers and promoters for that, like LeBron James or whoever. And so when you're like somebody who's like that, or they've like taken a chance on you and you screw it up by like saying anti-Semitic stuff, or like just like being generally unlikable, or like doing crimes, or like popping off about politics, it just like, basically I feel like that whole segment of entertainment that has all the money, just like, okay, this person's toxic, we don't want to work with them, we don't want any controversy, we just want people who everyone likes. The more people who like this person and the fewer people who dislike them, that's what we care about. But
then the thing is, though, what I think is interesting, like, some of it is unfounded. There's of course people that like say some really bad things and they should kind of almost be blacklisted, but then there's others that are like, oh, just something came out, but then we're not actually, don't have the details.
Like Kevin Hart, when he had
so
those
then it
jokes about
like,
if my son was gay, I'd kill him and stuff.
And
so then like, but people still work with him.
Yeah, and I mean, eventually they come back around, but it's so quick to, they lost. I guess maybe a good example would be like Tiger Woods when he cheated on his wife and da-da-da-da. Like, everyone dropped him, but now he's back to being, Tiger, you're great, and he's on everything and da-da-da-da.
But you gotta like do the right things to get back in those good graces. I'm sure when that happened, Tiger was just immediately like, all right, what do I have to do to get it back? Like, do I have to apologize? Do I have to go into sex addiction? Do I have to say this? Like, I'll say whatever. Some people, like the Kanyes and the Kyries, they can't just like, they get annoyed that they're in the situation, so they can't like help themselves from responding, because they feel like they should be allowed to say stuff. And like, in the world of fairness, sure, they should be allowed, but also like, not everybody has the opportunity to get paid these millions and millions of dollars of endorsements. Like, if you really don't care about that stuff, sure, say whatever you want, but like, I think that's what people say, like, oh, you're promoting these ideas just by saying them. It's like, yeah, because you also say stuff for money. Like, you say stuff, people pay you to say stuff, and you are a marketer, like, at that point. And so at that point, once you've sold your voice and your likeness, like, everything you say now, it's like the commercial, like, the camera never stops, even like on this show. The camera is just going to keep rolling 24 hours a day. So it's like, and I think that a lot of people do resent that, because I'm sure when you're an 18-year-old kid getting drafted into the NBA, you don't think, oh, you're like, oh, great, I'm good looking, I'm this, everyone loves me, but you don't see that, like, oh, wait, also, now everything you do is under a microscope for, like, the rest of your life, as long as you want this gravy train to continue.
Sure, yeah.
And it takes a special person. Like, look at Shaq, who everybody, like, people make fun of him, and people don't like him for, you know, whatever, and of course he's going to side with
people not like him?
I think most people do like him, but I'm saying, like, he goes against Kyrie. He's like, Kyrie's an idiot or whatever.
Yeah,
and
but then he also has... He's basically built an empire. He has like 500 Jimmy John's and 200 Chick-fil-A's. It's insane, all that stuff. But so then it's like, yeah, when it's me and my family. Well, and then I think that was the thing with him, that he's like, oh, I'm not passing anything on if my kids earn it. But that's a whole other stuff. What do you think about like I saw something about like Kanye's personal trainer being his handler?
Like, what do you mean, like his manager is his personal trainer?
No, like his CIA operative handler.
What does that mean? Like he's in the CIA?
Yeah, and that like all these people are controlled, and so he has to.
Oh Jesus Christ!
So like they sent a text his and so then he posted the guy's text that he sent him. He's like, "Hey, don't make me put you back on medication. You know what happened last time." Da 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 da. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah,
I don't know, that's odd to me. I mean, maybe I don't really believe in like the whole world's a conspiracy thing, but it would be ironic if Kanye's really part of like some secret cabal of people controlling the world, and he's just trying to make people think it's Jews. That's the whole reason. He's not crazy. He's like, oh no, they're catching on. I gotta bring the Jewish stuff up again. Yeah, you know what I mean? Throw him off the trail.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's like secretly this CIA agent. I mean, that would be a good movie.
It'd be a good movie. Yeah.
Just like it probably would never get made, but like, you know, Disney's like, I don't know if anti-Semitic spy is what we really want to.
Government control with shadow warriors. Like, maybe
they're like, yeah, you lost me at, you know, he is a by day anti-Semite celebrity and by night CIA operative. Like, but I mean, I don't know.
But those 808s, brother.
I don't know. It's just like, I mean, if you like getting into the whole election thing, which, you know, anyone who doesn't want to hear about politics, just turn this off now, I guess. You know, all 4,000 million of you. It's funny. I was watching Hassan Piker, who's like a socialist Twitch streamer for everyone who doesn't know.
Hassan, did he have a show on Netflix? Is he like...
I'm going to turn that light down
Indian?
Now. No, that's Hassan Minaj. Hassan Piker is Turkish. Why?
I tried watching that show, and it was just, to me, it was cringy. Like, it was trying to be...
Look at this. The light did break, you see?
No, I can't stare at it. It was not good. He was trying to be funny, trying to be edgy. It just wasn't. Is Hassan... is it called The Turkish or something? Is there some
show? Oh, he was on The Young Turks.
The Young
Turks.
You know
The Young Turks? They're like leftist, liberal. They're like liberal, sort of like political commentators. His uncle is, I can't say his name, Cenk Uygur or something. He's like the guy who
means nothing.
Anyway, he's a political commentator. But okay. So Hassan Piker, like, he's an interesting guy. He streams on Twitch like 12 hours, like 8 to 12 hours, like. I think he streamed 11 hours during the election, but probably like 7 to 10 hours a day. Okay. 7 days a week. He like talks about politics. Yeah, and his stream, like his midterm election stream had like, I think at the most like 85K live viewers, which is a lot. I feel like it's, you know, if you think of Twitch.
But then how are you, man, that's an insane amount of time.
To stream? Yeah, it's his whole life.
Yeah.
It's insane. But I mean, you know, it's worked out well for him. But he was in like Democratic Socialists of America, where like AOC, I think, was in that, and then also a friend of my sister, this guy named Jeff, he was in it too, and knows. I think he knows them or met them. Yeah, Jeff's a cool guy. But yeah. So anyway, they like Democratic Socialists of America. I feel like spawned like the leftist, like millennial sort of like people who we know in a way. Because, like, you know, the Democratic Party is not what I would call progressive. I'd call it, like, old and washed and sort of, like, lame. And everyone in it is just this, like, stuffy sort of, like, you know, Donald Trump is disrespectful, like, kind of person. And so, like, the progressive, I feel like leftist people who I think a lot of the causes resonate with, like, the younger people really, I feel like, listen to people like Hassan Piker instead of CNN.
Okay.
He's like the next wave. It's like the Twitch politics.
He ain't that mainstream media, brother.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he has mainstream media people on, and like he knows a lot of news people and stuff. But anyway, he was just watching CNN like live and watching them like go through the election map.
Yeah.
You know that guy who's on the election map, John King? Did you watch that at all?
Is he bald?
No, he's got white hair, but he like rapid fires like, and in this district, and like does all this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't really. I guess you can kind of get wrapped up in it, and then it just becomes like this. It's like its own kind of beast.
Oh, I get so super stressed out. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I just watch it and get freaked out the whole time.
Exactly, and then they're just talking. They're like, oh, new numbers in from Maryland.
Yeah. We've got a key election alert. We've got a key race alert coming to you guys. I mean, Anderson Cooper, Wolf Blitzer, like those guys. CNN is so odd because that's like, it's almost like a holiday. Election, it's like the only time I watch CNN of all the, like, in 4 years or 2 years, I turn it on for, like, election night.
Huh. Yeah, no, I pass. I mean...
I believe, yeah, I understand. Most people don't even want to get into
voted,
it.
but that was about as far or as much as I did. I don't even know. You're the only updates on like what won, what stuff passed, what didn't.
Yeah, I think mushrooms, decriminalizing psychedelic mushrooms won.
Yeah, well, not just mushrooms. It's DMT. It's
everything except
natural.
peyote, but I'm guessing it's because peyote has like sacred and traditional uses, and
not that.
No,
what I heard
like
it was
too crazy.
No, because mescaline,
yeah,
which is the same thing that's
right.
That's still good. It's just the fact that peyote, it takes so long to grow, and it's already like an endangered cactus.
Oh,
that
so it's
more to
environmental reasons.
Yeah.
Well,
which is
cool.
good.
Yeah,
I think someone's looking out. So, yeah,
someone's looking out for the peyotes.
Yeah.
Imagine if peyote went extinct, man.
It'd be
the knowledge of the world, you know, like all the like accumulated knowledge that is in the DNA of the fungi. We would lose all of it. Think about that.
Hate that for us.
Hate that for us. Yeah. I mean, think of all the like stuff like that probably grew and was created and had these crazy compounds, and then like we just destroyed it immediately before we even knew what it was.
Yeah. It happens all the time in the forest. It's currently happening.
Literally, just
Amazon,
chopping down.
Yeah.
Well, that's speaking of politics. That's why I'm happy Bolsonaro didn't win again. What is Joyce follow Brazilian stuff or is she?
She did, yeah.
And what's her take on it?
Boo for that guy.
She is not a Bolsonaro stan.
No,
that's what I figured.
And then
she's a Lula. Lula head.
I saw videos of people like. Then they were trying to block the streets and all kinds of stuff in Brazil, and it seemed pretty crazy. But then the video I saw was the guy
was closed down. Or
I don't even know. They were just like roadblocks.
Oh, okay.
And then the guy grabbed, so the car didn't care, and so they're going like 60 down the road, and this guy's just strapped to the car holding on because he didn't want to stop at the thing. It was kind of crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems like the whole like Trump thing is a little bit on life support. I mean, just to give the like
red wave.
Yeah, that's the high level narratives are the takes that I've been listening to, you know. And again, I'm sure other people who listen to other stuff, you know, if you're out there on like conservative Twitter or, you know, I don't know where, but basically there's like all sorts of narratives for like why things happen the way they do. But at least the narratives from like the libs and the left is that like, and maybe it's true or maybe it's not. But the narrative is that basically Trump now has gone too far. And it's not Trump. It's really like the whole Republican Party because they all just like were happy to play along. But now like that a bunch of the people Trump backed, like personally like stumped for, they lost.
Yeah.
So now it's not seen as like, oh, Republicans aren't that popular. It's seen as like, oh, you see,
this
Trump's era's over.
Extremism version of let's just say the most repulsive thing in the world and go for the shock factor. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah, or be fascists or like just generally be fascists. Like,
yeah.
No, I mean, I ultimately like don't fully agree with that. I feel like all the post-election takes are always disingenuous because everyone wants to sort of paint their side in a better light, you know, or whatever they believe in.
The winner writes history.
I don't think the fascists are exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't think the fascism is gone. I think like, I mean, like, I think ultimately what happened was just in general, the whole Republican Party isn't as like there aren't as many Republicans as Democrats. So in a situation where people turn out, it's gonna be tough for Republicans, even with the gerrymandering, even with the like. If you're in a Republican place, you're in like a super Republican place. If you're in a Democratic place, like there's also Republicans there.
Yeah.
So even with all those factors, like I would still say that, or there's also a lot of Republicans where Democrats live, but I would still say, you know, like the abortion thing had to have been huge, and I think there's a lot of young voter turnout, and so it has to be because of that. Oh, you're yawning.
That
you're like,
was
Jesus,
something.
This is the most
That
boring
was
podcast
something
ever.
that
I don't care. This is my show. We're talking about politics. Neil's not here.
That was something that I heard, that then Republicans were now trying to pass legislature to raise the voting age to 21 to try and hopefully impact the amount of millennials that were coming into vote.
They're trying to get them. They're like, whoa, let's chill out.
Let's slow that down.
Let's chill out, young children. You don't know what you're doing.
You don't
here.
know. Yeah. They're like, and then I saw some tweet about that today, that the guy's like, oh yeah, they know exactly what they're doing, and they know that by 2026 it's going to be over, because all these young people, if they actually vote, like a lot of these people are going, right?
Like a lot of these people aren't going to be reelected, so it'll be a whole different regime. Yeah, I mean, and also like it's a key part of the Republican platform to limit who votes. Like ever since slavery,
since ever.
Yeah, or I mean, like you could argue that the Republican Party of them was the Dixie Democrats, or who knows. But the point is, like the whole platform of the Republican Party for a while now has been yawning over there. You're like, God damn, Neil, where's Neil? He might show up, everyone who's waiting to join until he gets here. No, but yeah, like, so basically, like, it's just known. Like, if more people vote, Democrats do better. If fewer people vote, like, relative percentage of voters, Republicans do better. So it's like, because there's a certain segment of old, like, angry, crazy, like,
a little bit
who
more,
are just always going to vote no matter what, and they're always going to vote Republican no matter what, because they have those issues that like mobilize them. They have their like, they're going to take my guns, or they're going to, abortion is wrong, or all these like things that get people like riled up, are like, the illegal immigrants are going to come here and take everything. Yeah. So it's like there's enough of those issues that regionally get people like riled up that Republicans could always go to those. But like if generally those things don't matter to as many people as they used to, is what I would say. Yeah. And like more people, I think, like the culture war stuff they say doesn't work on the younger generation. It works on the older generation. All the like, the libs are coming for your children to turn them trans, like, which is a big thing that Republicans were on in this one, the whole trans thing. And it's like, I don't think millennials or Gen Zers really care that much about that. It's all...
That's because they're all already trans.
Because we're all trans.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, that's kind of the young vote, I think, helped a lot. Nice. And then independents, I think, don't like those crazies. Those, like, they're just like, well, I don't want to vote for somebody who's like, cheering the police on as they gun down like black teenagers. They're like, that's not really what... I just don't want the government to spend a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm just fiscally responsible. I don't want like,
Don't tax me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, so anyway, I guess those are the high level takes. Independent voters, young voters, Republicans are having a tougher and tougher time, The Georgia things are
that was a Herschel Walker. Yeah, that's, I mean, it was super, super close, right?
Yeah. Reminds me of when like Tito Ortiz ran. Do you remember that? MMA fighter.
But I didn't know. But then was it close? Or you're just saying that it was... Okay.
I think he might have won and then like had to give up, or he had to drop out of the election because he had like obvious corruption or something.
Okay. I think he was in there for a little bit.
Well, peak viewership's over for this hour. All right, guys. Well, that's been the show.
Yeah. And I don't actually know that much about the woman, Lauren... Boebert.
She just says crazy stuff. I just see her in,
but then
like,
she's
headlines.
from Colorado, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know she was from Colorado until like...
I don't know if I was clear. I knew one of them was like one of the like those Republican women who like wear glasses and like yell about stuff a lot and get in the news. I feel like they're like the the Republican psyop to counter like AOC and stuff. They're like, we got to get like young women who are like loud and gonna be on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then they'll like,
yikes.
So why are you so tired, bro?
I don't know.
Did you have a long night last night, or?
No, I didn't. Went to bed early. I don't know why I'm so tired.
Well, that's fun.
Well, that's fun. What else we got on the show? What else do we have on the agenda today?
Well, I don't know. I mean, politics recap. It's tough to talk about politics in this day and age. Nobody really cares. I got in an argument at my work about it though, about the alcohol thing.
About them,
How,
they were wanting it.
They
or
were
they
pro.
They were why? Or I guess just
because of capitalism. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
so like I just want to buy stuff cheaper. Or
yeah,
be
like
more
this is ridiculous. Like, why is Colorado like choose which stores can do which things, and like I don't know. It's just like,
I don't know. For me, or at least my good old boys over at Argonauts told me that, you know, it hurts small businesses. And then for me the main thing is like, and who knows, this is what the internet told me, so I don't know if it's right or not, but
the internet never lies.
The main
always
bill about bringing someone in, it was like, it's basically all, it would be like the big box stores like Total Wine, and the main person that brought it in is from Maryland or something.
Yeah, it's a congressman from Maryland who was one of the founders of Total Wine. It's like two brothers.
And then there's like $10 million put into it. It was $2 million tracked back to the person, and then the other $8 million came from the brother. So
yeah, like, no, they said that in the voter guide. They were like,
really?
They were like, it's the only supporter of this is Total Wine.
Wow.
So I brought that up in my work argument.
Yeah.
And it was like, because I was basically just like, and again, I get it. Like, I work with a bunch of like hardcore capitalists, I'm sure. I mean, people who make like good money and are just like total dads. But like, you know what I mean? Just like dad energy all around on every opinion. So it's just like, no offense, Dad or Gene, but you know what I'm saying. They're just like these like total just like suburban dads who just like don't have any consequences no matter what happens in politics. Like, they have a lot of money and they live in a nice place, and their kids go to the best schools in the state, and they're friends with like people who are winning these elections.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't really give a fuck, and that's why it's hard to argue against them, because I'm just like, well, I can't argue with somebody who just like refuses to believe that other people are gonna be right
in a different situation,
right? And, like, so because I was said the small business thing, I'm like, well, I like to support the mom and pop stores. I vote idealistically, like, even though I know corporations are gonna eat everything, eventually, I try to vote to like stop that and slow the progress of like the sand falling down the cliff. But anyway, the reaction I got back was like, no, that's not how you help small business. And like, it doesn't actually hurt them. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't believe what this business is telling you, and they're spending money, like their own business money to lobby for this, then like, I guess we'll agree to disagree. And also they were like, well, I already buy wine in grocery stores. And I was like, yeah, because of the other law that they were against, which was supposed to be a compromise. Like, the big thing with that one was, they had this like 2006 meeting of the minds when everyone got together and was like, here's the compromise. And then like Total Wine and whoever was just like, screw this.
Yeah, exactly. That's
so
funny.
It's like, I just don't like, it's like kind of about integrity. And it's also about, like, if a corporation spends X amount of money to like support a ballot initiative, and they're literally the only person who's doing it, it's probably because it's financially good for them,
which is also
and $10 million. Think about that. $10 million in a state that you only have 3 stores in, but if you can get this passed, you will make way more than $10 million within like a few years. You'll make $100 million or something, and you'll crush all the local competition, like just like Walmart and all those companies. They'll just come in, buy up all the small liquor licenses from stores, and just aggressively put them out of business.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, and then what's really insane is that capitalism. The fact that like that there's no conflict of interest there with all that stuff.
Yeah, like you can just personally go and change the constitution of a state.
Yeah. Well, and then
like you and your brother like can get together and be like,
we have enough money and we just go. Yeah. But then I've heard that a lot with like even stocks. It's like the people, the politicians that are in place are voting on which companies, like regulation wise, they're staying and going. It's like, and then you also can be investing in that, and then you have this insider knowledge, but then that doesn't count as inside. I don't know.
The
To me,
Pelosi
it's
thing, like
I don't even know all
whatever.
of it. I just know.
just her
general,
husband like is a big stock trader, and like they're like,
I just
why
know
is he
that
so successful?
Yeah, it's like, that's strange.
Like it's like 6 degrees of like, okay, if your like spouse has all this knowledge, if your spouse is Kevin Bacon, then you know so much about what the economy's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The Argonaut, I don't know. I got into this long thing about it, but it's like most people don't really research that much, and neither do I. I devote half a day to it, like every 2 years or whatever it is, every other year, because like, I don't know. I just figure that that's the least I can do. And like when I do read about stuff and I talk to people about why they voted for what they voted for, it's always just like I read the sentence and I decided intuitively what felt good to me or not. It's like, well, those sentences are like really tricky wording.
It can be.
There were 2 on Colorado, which was like trying to just make it clearer because obviously people have like slipped stuff in where they're like, because like yes has to mean like change, and no means stay the same. Because in some states they flip it. So they're like, do you want to not eliminate slavery? And they're like, yes. And they're like, so they want slavery. Yay. And like people just like,
the old double negative. We got him again.
There was one like that in Mississippi, I heard, which was like remove slavery from the Constitution. And like, well, there was actually, there were a bunch of states.
Tennessee, I know states. It passed, or that was the one I saw.
But one it didn't pass. And it was because to get rid of slavery was the no.
Oh, man.
And so like, they were like, they kind of wordplayed it. So they were like, yes, of course I want to get rid of slavery. And they're like, yes, you don't. And so it was just one of those. But like there was I saw this on another, like on political live stream. There was a screenshot someone had and it was like, man, maybe I can pull it up. There was a screenshot that was like, it was from like the voter guide. And it was basically like one of the like opposition to slavery. And it was the sheriff of like the town or something, and it was like the sheriff's opinion on why, like, and it was basically just like, I'm against slavery, however, and it was like, it's really funny. Let me try to pull it up. I think it was in Oregon, but yeah,
I don't know. The more, and maybe that's just a pessimistic view, but the more I like am around people, the more I realize that there are a lot of like unstable people out there that it's like scary that they have cars. It's scary that they have jobs. Like, how do you not, I don't know. You're in your job and how do you get hired?
If you're just so crazy.
Yeah.
Like that you can't even like, you're just wild. Like, well, like, what do you mean by people who are just so like out of it?
I'm trying to think. Not just like physically looking crazy.
Like Oregonians did remove slavery as punishment.
Nice.
Man, I can't find it. I wish I could find it.
Just like crazy political views, or I don't know, even religious views. Just across the board, people have some. I would hope that
flat Earth type.
Yeah,
people
I would hope that
stuff.
Most people are very, middle of the ground. But I guess maybe that's what it is. It's maybe like I don't know if it would be a recency bias, but it's like you only remember the crazy ones. You don't think of all the people that
aren't crazy.
Those aren't memories. But yeah, like,
well, I don't know.
Even on the street, taking the bus, like the people I see on the bus are insane.
Yeah, the bus is wild though. I'm anti riding the bus for my own life.
Wild.
I just can't even like handle the bus at this point in my life. I'm just like, I don't want to be there. But like, I mean, I used to take the bus a lot, but like, no, I think about that too. But like, then I just talk to people who I think are normal, and if you talk to them long enough, like you get to some insane belief that they have. And so I just feel like it's like you're walking through a field and there's like landmines, and each landmine is like a crazy belief. And if you walk long enough in the field with any field, someone's just gonna be like, well, you realize that like, they've never actually gone to the moon. Like,
what is yours?
That's a good one. I don't know. I feel like I was like I feel like my head tells me that 9/11 happened the way they said. but my heart is like Tower 7, baby. Like, let's find the conspiracy. Like, there's stuff like that where I'm like, is that type of stuff? Like, of course, there's JFK is like the one that I feel like generation before us was like big into.
Yeah.
9/11's like ours. I don't know. There's plenty of stuff which I'm sure they're lying about, like brazenly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just like too much.
Well, because the thing that's insane to me about the 9/11, and I don't want to stay on this too long, but is like they found all of their passports perfectly preserved. That they're just on the ground.
It's like the JFK bullet when they were like, "Here's the bullet," and they just like found it, and it was like perfectly undisturbed, and they were like, "This is definitely the one." There's something like that.
I didn't know
where they like did one autopsy, and they were like, "This is what happened," and then they were like, "Let's try that again," and they're like, "No, I think that guy was
that's definitely
he's dead now." But
there are some like that was the main thing about the 9/11 stuff, that they found all of their then
they found all their wigs. No, I'm just kidding.
Or then there was something with the black box too.
They found a bunch of makeup and wigs next to the passports, and they were like, "Oh God."
It's hardcore. I don't know.
They found a bunch of copies of the crime, but when they opened them, it was all just blank pages. Like, wait a second, they were Muslims at all.
What the?
What the hey?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of.
But like nowadays, everyone thinks everything's a conspiracy, and the things that are not conspiracy is the like 10%.
Then that's what is
that
it?
Just
it's something's razor.
Occam's razor.
It's something like the. I don't know if someone described it to me right, or if the internet did, but it was something like, if you have too direct the person used the analogy like, if you have two stories, which one has fewer steps in it? Well, that's most likely the truth. And I think that's something my dad he's definitely on board with. It's like the easiest, most likely solution is almost always what it is, because when you start having to like qualify everything, and then it becomes, well, you're just playing mental gymnastics to like get to an answer because it seems to make sense. So
or
it's like
because
simplest.
you want a conclusion,
or you want
the conclusion to be a certain thing. But yeah, no, I think it's like the simplest outcome is like the most likely outcome or something.
Okay,
it's like Occam's razor. Like the most likely outcome is also, or like the most plausible outcome, or the simplest outcome is also the most likely one.
Yeah,
meaning that like these like convenient narratives are usually wrong. Like,
and then my dad's other saying about that, which I actually think holds true very much, is the answer is money. What's the question?
Oh yeah. I know that one. I mean, but that's like, it's just kind of like when I see the politics stuff, like going back to that argument that I had at work, like I was kind of like, well, I inherently distrust when I see that two brothers spent $10 million of their personal money to pass a law. I'm like, why do they care so much? You know what I mean? Like,
because they want to make more money.
But the counter argument that was said to me in this work argument was, and it was just like a kind of debate more than an argument, but it was just like, I don't care about if it's corporations or if it's money. I just care that it's
spending
the right...
less on my alcohol. Oh.
I just care that it's the right thing to do.
The right thing to do?
And then I was thinking like, well, that's how politics manipulates people, because everyone has a different idea of what the right thing to do is, of course, in various scenarios. And you can present people a lot of like, this is the right thing to do or this is the wrong thing to do type of scenarios, and force them to choose between one or the other when the choice is really neither of those, right? So it's like there's a lot of, I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but it's just like, I don't care about whether or not corporations are trying to like take over the constitution of my state. I just care that the things that they are telling me are the right thing to do. And it's like, but you don't know how they're going to take that law, and you don't know what the outcomes of it are going to be. You just know that like, it's like theoretically, should businesses be able to do commerce with anyone they want? Sure. But we don't live in a theoretical world. We live in a world where these liquor stores already have regulations on them. And the Total Wines and grocery stores are trying to get around those. Yeah. So if they know, if they can word the Constitution a certain way, that when they do whatever they want to do and they get sued, they can say, well, this is what our lawyers say. So they've already had lawyers go over exactly how this amendment to the Constitution will affect them, and they've drafted a plan of exactly how they're going to roll it out and the language they're going to use, like prior to even submitting the petition.
Yeah.
So that's how I see the world. I'm like,
Yeah.
people.
It's calculated, and when there's that much
Yeah.
money at stake, yes, someone's
It's
gonna be
money,
looking
it's
into
planning,
it.
it's human resources, and that's how like people make change. They organize that way, and then they bring things in front of the voters when they've already stacked the deck in their favor with money or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the type of thing where I'm just like, yes, people are so naive to think that they themselves are arbiters of what is right and wrong in politics. No, you just have to understand what are these disagreements, what are the dynamics of them, what are like the potential outcomes, why do people want this to be written down, and like you never really know. But I think the more informed populace is the weapon against that type of emotional manipulation or moral manipulation, where it's like, oh,
this is the right thing.
Yeah. Oh, don't you believe in freedom, brother? And it's like, it's a lot more complex than that. Like nobody believes in anything. They're just trying to accomplish specific, tangible goals. Yeah. And if those goals are aligned with what's best for you, you should vote for them. If they're not, you should probably not. But I'll get off my soapbox about it, I guess. But it's just a funny argument because I just like, I sit there and I'm just like, man,
and that's
we are screwed as a country because nobody reads the voter guide or anything.
Yeah.
1% of people probably do that. 5% of people probably do that.
I definitely did not.
Yeah, so it's like people could easily be manipulated into voting for things against their own interest because they don't take 2 hours out of every 2 years to read a booklet to inform themselves. And I'm not shaming you or anyone. I'm just saying that's human nature.
Yeah, but and that was, I didn't read the voter guide, but then I tried to look for the online stuff that summarizes it for the judges and stuff. We talked about that. But I don't
Colorado
know. For
Public
some reason,
Radio usually has a pretty solid voter
and
guide.
I looked there, but for some reason I couldn't find it.
It's not easy. Like it takes
5 minutes, and then I'm like, okay.
That's what I think is true. It's not easy. It's not really accessible information. You have to do a fair amount of Googling to get some of these things. So I understand why, like, it's just like, because Google's another company too, and I'm sure like if they wanted to make it easier, they could. It's just like
the stuff that they show, even
maybe that's a little conspiratorially minded, but like there's ways to game the search results.
Sure.
And if it doesn't show up in the top 5 search results, no one's going to that second page of search results.
Yeah.
They're like, page 2, what the hell? I mean, why isn't Google an infinite scroll? Why do you have to go to page 2? I feel like it's because they know page 1 is this sought after thing, and if it becomes that you could just scroll like Reddit, suddenly being the top link still matters, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, why would Google still have you go page to page? So stupid, if you think about it.
I agree. Yeah.
It should, like, they could infinite scroll easily. There you go. Weird. That's a tech idea. It's all conspiracy.
Search engines that infinitely scroll.
Soon there'll be no page 2. They'll just get rid of the other pages, and no one will notice.
Yeah. Soon there'll just be one link
for
anything you search.
What's the answer? And Google just gives you one sentence or one link, and they're like, "This
trust
is the
me,
answer."
bro.
Yeah, trust me. We know everything. So I don't know, man. I hope that I don't know. I hope that it sort of changes, but like I tend to think people won't be more informed until like the bombs are bursting in air or whatever, in front of their apartment building. Then they'll be like, I should pay attention to politics.
But then by that point, it's over.
By that point,
too late.
They've already lost. Yeah.
So it's a
fun
hard.
world. What else is going on? Recession coming.
Recession. Or I read something today that it's like, well, it's already here. Like, what part
that's what my dad
mass layoffs, the stock market being down 20%?
Hot dogs are $8.19.
Yeah, I mean, this high, it's like
grocery store.
So that's an interesting take. I mean, I hope it doesn't get worse, but
my dad says it's already here. He says like there's a lot of ways to define a recession, but he said some indicator recently.
Well,
where he was like, well, we've had negative this or that, so that is
over
technically
2
a recession.
quarters, and then they trying to change the definition of that, where it's like it's like I can't remember what it was, but it was like if it was negative for 2 quarters in a row, and then we hit that, and they're like, well, no, this isn't a recession.
Yeah,
this is something different.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's a lot.
Messaging. I mean, I don't know.
Because I had some links on recession.
Should we look? That's what I looked at the links, and that's why I actually thought of titling
recession.
this. How long we've been going? 48? Man, what a riveting conversation. I mean, Neil would literally be sleeping on the table if he were here. But, our three concurrent viewers, we got to promote this thing if we ever want people to watch. But I'm enjoying talking about this.
Global recession. Oh, didn't we click on that before, or was there one that we didn't click on? And that I think global. Oh yeah, this is insane.
Yeah, and look, we got ourselves in the corner. You can see anyway. You can see on my screen here. Uh-oh.
It's gone now.
Oh god. Yeah, every time I move, I think the capture card might be dying. But luckily I have another capture card, so we'll do a little test. But yeah. Okay, let's look. Let's get copyright banned. What do you think?
Again, one more time.
Oh, hold on. First off, the play button's not working, but second off, let's stop levels playing and turn the audio back up. Okay. Are we good? Oh, yep, the little the high-pitched ringing that everyone loves.
Bing.
Is this a video? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why that didn't work.
And I guess it doesn't matter.
So what's happening?
Well, this is in Czech Republic or something, and they don't have electricity.
They're giving them blankets to stay warm.
Yeah.
Instead of electricity.
Yeah.
Why don't they have electricity?
Well, it's all the gas.
Oh. So they're just like, we're not going to turn the heat on, kids. Did you see the top comment, though? Didn't realize my dad is the principal of a school in Czech Republic. Every dad's just like, you don't need heat.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I don't know, and I think I maybe
That's
touched on that a little bit, but then yeah, I think I did last time. The whole Russians and Saudis trying to manipulate.
Look how sad they look.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Like, can you imagine being a student in the Czech Republic? Like, you're not learning.
But then, and I don't know how much of this.
This guy looks like he has 2 million followers on TikTok. Honestly.
Yeah, all that stuff is very. I'm not sure how that's gonna go.
You think we'll be fine, or you think we're screwed?
I think we're all right. I think we're all right, and so the rest of the world can freeze. That's how I see it.
I'm just saying you gotta. It's like Tita said that it's like you gotta put your mask on when the plane's going down before the other person's mask.
Exactly.
On, right. So if I'm not good,
oh,
then
Daddy's gonna be warm.
Yeah, I'm gonna be toasty. It's a nice 74 degrees. Actually, the boiler in my apartment has been breaking.
Are we back? Oh, so we're.
And
back.
I called my landlord, and he was like,
maybe let's see if there's another link.
Called my landlord. He was like, thanks for letting me know, bro. Because if you had let this go 30 more minutes, we wouldn't have had heat. And I was like, well, I'm glad I called you. Then when the boiler started acting up, just like, I'm like, that doesn't sound good through the walls.
Yikes.
Anyway, good thing I'm moving in a couple months, or even less than a couple months, actually. All right, boom. Where we at? Unrelenting inflation is taking a toll, leaving more Americans living paycheck to paycheck. Oh my God, ad blocker. I gotta un-ad block this. Hold on. Let's just do it just the one time.
Oh. I think,
is this Neil?
Well, the whole thing, or maybe it's, 60%.
Kiwi $4.89.
Golly, that's expensive. That's
not
not even
mini
a kiwi.
watermelon $5.99. I remember we used to get a regular size for half that.
High earners that
I mean,
people
what's the
live
point
in
of this?
paycheck.
Inflation
Scroll
sucks.
down. Yeah, exactly.
Oh God. Household debt as a percentage of personal income. What does that mean? Like,
I don't know.
I just don't even.
Yeah, all of it. The one thing that I saw that I think was interesting is it was saying that, I don't think it's in this article,
Let's see if we can find another. Hold on.
There was
the other
something
articles.
about, and I don't know if it was, if I even put it, more recession. Oh no, that was, okay. So then if we scroll down, is there a less recession?
Sorry, I'm snorting the thing.
Today's cops excitement. No, I don't. Who knows?
Chick-fil-A is slow?
I don't want to click on that.
I don't know. I'm scared.
So, yeah, none of this. The whole thing was that, like, the recession, or that inflation's 9%, but really the prices for everything is up 40. And so they're like, well, where's that coming from? They're like, well, there's an extra 31% that's going to these companies' profits, the bottom dollar. And so it's like they're adding in inflation, passing that along, and they're like, well, if we're already doing that, let's just add in some more. So yeah,
the articles are crazy. Like, I googled recession just to be like, what's the
doomsday
answer?
preppers?
Let's just look at
Harvard.
headlines. I mean, that's exciting. So okay, the top one is Bank of England warned that UK faces longest recession in 100 years. Is the US next? And then if you keep going down to the second headline, it says growth recession 2023 outlook, downturn likely shallow, manageable. So we've got like worse than 100 years, and like, oh, it won't be that bad. And then another one says shallow, and then later
Hell
on
yeah.
down here, in 9 hours ago, it says cloud computing enters its first real recession. So it's like, are we entering the recession? Is the recession slowing down? CEOs are talking about it. Crippling recession no longer looks inevitable. It looks like some people are now saying it's not going to be that bad, but then other
Well, then that's the
businesses
thing
are always
too.
slow to react.
Unless
though, right?
you're reading all of these articles, it's like, how do I want to see whatever the topic is? How do I want to see that? Oh, I would prefer that recession is not that bad. So then I'm going to read the articles that are going to like confirm that theory for me. And I'm going to say, oh, the ones that are saying it's horrible. No, I don't believe that. So I'm not going to read it.
So
So
just
it's like
no
a
one
confirmation
knows, really.
bias. I don't know. I don't really know.
Or maybe someone knows, but it's hard to tell which person knows. I mean, I also think businesses react to stuff late. They're like, there's going to be a recession. And then, like, the recession's already happening.
Yeah.
And
But
then when it's over, they're like,
Well-
good thing we're in the peak of the recession. I don't know.
and then they fire or lay off a bunch of people.
Jenny's trying to throw us a bone here. Why do we wear headphones is the question.
So we can hear each other better.
No, it's also so we can hear, like, if there's audio on the computer. Like, we can't, if we didn't have the headphones on, we couldn't hear, like, if we play, like, you know, the music or something like that, we can't hear that. Or we can't play, like, if there's a video playing that doesn't get us copyright banned. I mean, you know, YouTube.
Yeah, it was a bummer. That was a major bummer.
It's going to happen again.
Thanks a lot, India.
Why is it India? Oh, the Bollywood movie.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought, like, that's who, like, the people who are content moderating are, like, Indian people watching uploads.
I don't think anyone's doing that. It's all systematic,
Yeah, it's
right?
all like, yeah, exactly. No, there's no people there who are like,
That'd be
"Is this
insane.
video good?"
Imagine that. There's just warehouses of people having to click through people's like 30
Recent
watch
uploads.
videos.
And then they themselves have to determine if it's okay.
Yeah, they have to like have a complete repository.
Yeah, repository of everything that's banned or
repository. Oh yeah, I was gonna say suppository.
Thank you, Jenny, for
repository,
the engagement.
Yeah.
Suppository.
Yeah, that's not the right one.
What about the moderation on Twitter? That's what people say. Elon is just like a mod now. He's just like the mod of Twitter. Personal, like, he has to go through every tweet and be like,
yeah,
is this guy pretending to be me?
I don't even want to talk about that dude.
No,
it's just too
you
much.
hate him or you like him?
I hate him.
I know
It's
people
too
who love
much,
him
man.
so much.
That's insane.
And I'm like, how can you like him?
It's
And they're like,
insane.
I don't like him. I like Tesla and SpaceX because they're saving the
I
world.
like his
and I'm
ideas.
Like, yeah, or like, I like his companies. I'm like, they're not saving the world. They're not even that good. They're going to be gone. Like, he's just like a ridiculous person who he's like Carnival Barker, as people say commonly about him. You know, he's
Carnival
like
what?
Carnival Barker, you know.
What that is.
He's like Barnum and Bailey, like a sucker's born every minute. You know,
okay,
he's like, I'm gonna make robots. Then he's like, I'm gonna make spaceships. You know, and people are like, oh my god, you're gonna make spaceships.
Insane.
This guy's blowing my mind right
He's
now.
a new Tesla.
Yeah, the same person to argue at work is like Elon just cares so much about the environment. That's their take. The same person I was arguing about the liquor stuff. They're like, he just cares about the environment.
Sounds
so
like
much.
a lot of bad takes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the tech industry is like literally the like genesis of every bad take is probably like a tech guy who like drives a Tesla around and who's just like, this is the greatest car ever invented, possibly the greatest machine ever invented in human history. And you're like, I cannot understand this. But no, like, buying Twitter was a huge mistake. Huge mistake.
Seemed like it.
I mean,
then he just wants to chart. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, a bunch of people are getting verified and changing their names to like famous people. They're paying that $8 to get the blue check.
But then I also think that's stupid because then it becomes like it's like book burning or buying a CD of someone you don't like to then break it. You're like, they're still making money off of that, right? So even though it's let's do this for fun, fun. It's like, well, you're still paying them $8, you idiot.
But I think it's also just to be funny. Like, I don't know if they'll keep the $8 subscription going month to month. I think they're just doing it.
But
to,
well,
like,
I mean,
troll.
it's okay. Yeah,
Twitter is like the worst user base in the world. Like, Twitter is the worst. Like, it's so mean and negative.
I've never
and
had
toxic.
one.
It's
That's what
so
I've heard.
mean.
That it's
And like
yeah.
everyone is so insanely mean to each other in the comments of Twitter. Someone will be like, "I like apples," and someone will be like, "Oh, because that's because you don't believe oranges have a right to exist, you disgusting orange." And you're like, "Whoa, all right." You literally sent this at 8:09 a.m. like on your way at your job, like you're just sitting there.
How'd you even see
furious.
this? Like,
Yeah, exactly. How did you even see
hashtag
this
apples is now trending.
But like with Elon, a bunch of people impersonated him, which was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
And they were all like, I just like or somebody was saying, what did they say, like, oh, one of the funniest ones was, I made a huge mistake about buying Twitter. That was hilarious. And then there was a bunch of people calling him out about being friends with Jeffrey Epstein or something, like, my good friend Jeffrey Epstein once said, and like stuff like that. But like ultimately it's funny because he was like, oh, I believe in free speech, and everyone's just like, Twitter's just like, oh, you believe in free speech, do you? And just like, can't wait. Can't wait to just like absolutely ruin that concept. You just like, oh yeah, Twitter's not the place to like be a free speech absolutist. It's gonna get pretty dark. Like
real quick.
Yeah.
Well, then it wasn't that the whole thing that they made like a Twitter bot, and then it took it like half an hour to just turn racist and misogynistic.
Yeah.
Like
because it was just trained on everyone's tweets.
Yes, exactly.
Tweets.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah, it was like, oh, hello world, I'm alive, and then it was like, black people are inferior. They're like, okay, let's they just like someone's unplugging their laptop, like, let's get this thing off. Yeah. It was like one of those like demos, like when Elon had the truck and he was like, it's bulletproof, and the guy lightly throws something at it and it shatters, and then he does it again and it shatters more, and Elon just like,
he's like, we just tested this. I've never seen it shatter once in my entire time.
He just like, in the back, he just took that thing and just started hurling it at the guy, just like, oh man, what an episode!
What an episode!
What an ep! I mean, we just came in here with like, we scrambled. This was a game day decision. Is this gonna undo?
It messed up.
Oh, look at me doing this. Yeah. So I mean, this isn't what I would call our best episode.
Is it gone? I just see a black screen here.
Oh God, is it gone? Hold on, it'll be back in a second. Oh.
But it's.
I feel like this capture card, we just like use it up.
Use it and abuse it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me try to. Ooh, it's a little warm. There's another one over there, but I feel like we should just wrap up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the capture card is it's not hot yet, but it's certainly toasty. Not. It's also warm in my apartment too, so.
Well, that's the nice thing about living in a dungeon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're back.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
We don't have a Neil's Got Issues.
Yeah, no one had any issues this week. Everyone was really good.
Yeah.
Everyone was really good. Election. Man, I was stressed. Well, I got super into it. Oh, and there's
we're back.
Yeah, I think this capture card might be done, but it was like a $20 capture card on Amazon from like, a no name, like just came in a box with like no papers.
It does just say HD video capture on it, so it's legit.
It's like capture spelled CEP, you know what I mean? Capture. It's a capture card. It's just like the real ones.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Low energy, man.
Low energy. Yeah, I'm tired too. Yeah, we'll have some. I'll have to be looking for new stuff on Reddit to post to the links. We'll get some new links for next week. Neil may or may not be back next week. We'll kind of play that by ear.
Austin is coming into town in December.
Oh, nice.
He wants to do a little guest spot, maybe.
Nice.
So we could pull him in and have him share a mic or get another mic or something. I mean, this equipment constantly, like, I think I need a new wire to connect the thing because the like audio will like come out of only one channel. And
really,
man, you are just yawning. You're like, let's do an episode, sure. And you come.
I
over
think it's
like,
because it is warm in here, and I'm like,
it's super warm.
Time for a little bedtime snuggle. It's cold outside, man. It's already hitting different.
I hate the cold.
I hate the cold, and I hate the dark.
Yeah, there's so many people who live here just like, I can't wait till it gets cold, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like,
you're gross.
Oh God, yeah. I hate you. Well, we survived another election. We survived election talk.
Survived it. We survived a recession.
Jenny is telling you get rested up. We survived. Yeah, I mean,
love you, Mom.
It's we just got to make it through winter, man. It's the tech industry's laying people off. The recession's
Insane,
looming.
Or we're in it. Yeah, the
Bobert
tech
came
stuff,
back, and I think Bobert won.
I think that was a thing. To me, I see like tech stock as like how oil and gas was 10 years ago, where it doesn't matter if we're making a profit. It actually doesn't even matter if we're breaking even. It's all about growth. And so so many people have just dumped so much money into them. And then it's like, well, what do we have to show for it? And they're like, we'll get back to you. Yeah. Actually, you should watch, I think it's called The Playlist.
Okay.
And it's about Spotify. And it's told from different perspective. It's on Netflix. It's good. It's good.
Maybe I'll give that a watch tonight.
Ooh, golly gosh darn.
I get into something. The Playlist on that's an official Who Invited Will recommendation. Yeah, I'll watch it and we can talk about it on next episode with Neil. I'm sure he'll
it's basically social network, but then it's from different perspectives, which I really like.
Oh, is it dramatized? It's not a documentary? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, now I'm a little less interested. I want a documentary.
Oh, no.
I wanted people who are like, I founded Spotify.
Yeah.
We ripped off all those artists, and they don't get paid a cent for their music now. Well, who was it took off Spotify because of the Joe Rogan stuff?
Bob Dylan.
Neil Young. Joe Rogan is just getting dumber and dumber. He had like this guy Matt Walsh. He had just all these like conservative news guys on now, and he had the guy on who was like he's like super anti-trans, and he was like there are millions of children right now on hormone replacement therapy or whatever. And then Joe was like, really, millions? And he was like, well, someone's probably gonna fact check me on that. I mean, I assume there's been millions by now.
At least
thousands. He literally like makes a claim, and then he's like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not exactly sure if it's millions, but
It's up there, buddy."
It's a lot. Trust me, it is a lot. Too many, I say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like,
is one not enough, Joe?
I mean, I could never move to Texas, dude. I could never move to Texas.
Austin's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Or is it good?
I mean, I liked it when I visited. I think I could probably do it in Austin.
Documentary on Miles Davis, Jenny. Yeah,
that's good. I thought. Okay.
Miles Davis was a genius. There was a guy I knew who told me a quote of Miles Davis. He went to some like benefit dinner, and it was like to honor people who had made like huge contributions to the arts or society. And he was there, and I guess this like old woman walked up to him and was like, "What did you do?" And he was like, "I've changed music 7 times." He's like, "What have you done except being rich and white?" Or something like
Why would you even? That's insane. The gall on that lady.
Well, this was a different era, you know.
To just go up to like the actual celebrity and be like, "What have you ever done?" What did you do besides marry a rich guy?
Or something like that. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, supposedly a pretty outspoken guy in some way. He also like his voice was like gone too. I think he lost his voice at some point because I listen to like every time I hear him on a recording, he's like, "I'm Miles Davis and this is jazz music."
Maybe he smoked a lot.
Yeah,
Who's the trumpet people? Well, there's Louis Armstrong. There's one that, but then the video is insane.
His throat's
that might be my video for next week. When he blows, his neck inflates as well as and his cheeks. Actually, let's see if we can pull it up right now.
He's like a human frog.
It's really just type in one more video to play us out.
Okay, what is it?
Type in
trumpet guy.
Neck trumpet.
Neck trumpet playing.
Okay, it's
neck
not going to
puff?
be neck.
That's not the same guy.
It's not. We type
bullfrog neck.
No. Well, maybe it's gonna be like big
let's
cheeks.
Up on the screen.
Big cheeks.
Let's take a risk here. Trumpet play. Wait, big cheeks.
Yeah. Big.
Type in big cheeks into Google. We're getting crazy.
Yeah, that guy.
Look at him.
Okay, but no, wait till you get a video of it.
25 years ago.
Yeah, this bent trumpet dude. And then
this guy?
Look at that. But then we video.
How did he just expand them over time?
No. So what I found out is that maybe the top one would do it.
I'm gonna mute because we're gonna definitely get.
Okay, actually do that. Do the solo. Do the solo one.
Where's the solo?
The black
Down here?
and white. Yeah.
This is when he was in his prime.
So,
Okay,
oh yeah,
copyright just went, whoop, let's
so
go.
good, so
Let's get past
So
that.
look at his neck.
Oh, wow.
See how it
ew.
swe-
Oh, my God. Wait, is that air?
Yeah.
How?
Well, because he's played so long, what happened is all of the like muscles ripped apart in his cheeks and in his neck.
Ripped apart, so it's actually damaged?
Yes, it's damaged. And then
Really?
he was very very self-conscious about it
This
too.
makes me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's insane. And you see how the trumpet is bent up? That was his signature style because
it made the air harder to blow through, and it just pushed it back into his neck.
he actually, I think the story there was something about
This is uncomfortable.
It had bent. One of his trumpets, someone was carrying it and it fell down and it bent, and then he played it and he liked it, and so then he custom made trumpets to be like that from then on. But yeah, did you see that? I guess that's that bullfrog neck.
So wait,
probably.
his muscles? He actually had like damage to his muscles
Yes,
from it.
it's, specifically in the cheeks. I remember reading that it's like.
But was
the
it
muscles,
fine or no?
I mean,
No.
yeah,
Maybe you don't know. You're like, I'm not his doctor.
I don't know.
I'm not his doctor.
Yeah,
I just
the
watched
neck
the video
just
online.
doesn't look great, for sure.
Yeah, man. It makes me uncomfortable to see that. It makes me feel.
Yeah.
But I guess it's like suffering for your art. Like he is.
Yeah.
He is a trumpet player. Like that's his whole identity at that point.
Oh God.
Oh no, phone call. Oh my gosh. What's up, my guy? You're live on the show right now.
Yo, what's up? Who invited Will?
Oh, that
I
sounds
think I
way
should
better.
be a guest caller from now on.
Yeah. Are you listening? Are you watching?
Hello, Sleepless in
No,
Seattle.
I just got out of my interview. I'm just finishing work.
Dang.
Probably too late to make the show. I mean, we
Definitely
are
too late.
We
We're
are
wrapping it up.
floundering here.
Yeah,
like we're just like well, have you ever seen the internet?
Fish
Oh.
out of water.
Yeah, and no one watched because you didn't.
Send
This
out.
is Neil, by the way, for anyone who can't hear. You didn't send out invites, so surprise, surprise.
Well done that you guys don't know how to send out invites.
Yeah. Do you have a Neil's got issue?
I have an issue, but it's an issue from myself. I have a rant.
Okay, let's hear it. Can you hear it?
Yeah,
Can
it
you guys,
sounds great.
Can you guys hear Neil in the chat? Can you type something?
Thumbs up
Can
in
you
the
hear Neil?
chat.
Is anybody in the chat?
Yeah.
Are there writers? Probably no writers are in the chat.
I would
though.
say no. They sat this one out.
Yeah, the writers are not there, so that's tough.
You in an elevator?
Yeah. Echo.
Yeah.
This is the most
Okay,
riveting,
so then
riveting
what's
part
the-
of the show.
What's
Neil.
the
Yeah,
issue?
An elevator. I don't know if it's gonna come through. 'Cause
It's
I'm in-
coming
can you still
through.
hear me?
Yes, it's coming through.
We'll tell you if
Talk.
we can't hear you.
I'm still at work. I'm literally walking in the parking lot. So here's my rant. This is Neil's Got Issues, and Neil has an issue this time. And my issue is with reality TV, okay? Reality Netflix shows, reality TV. I'm tired of it. It's disgusting. And let me tell you why. I am so fucking disappointed in the people that
You can hear him.
do
fine.
the editing of these shows because they can create whatever narrative they want. They could literally clip somebody laughing in the first 5 minutes of the show and clip them laughing into other portions of the show. Where it's
Exactly.
like,
That's such a
and
common
that's
reality
why I
TV
hate
thing.
it.
They always are like,
What?
someone tells the worst joke that's not funny, and then they just find someone laughing throughout the entire day and just like put them there, and you're like, that's not.
Right, or they'll create a narrative making someone a villain. For example, like a girl will say something like, "Oh, I've been trying to lose weight for this many years, blah blah blah. I think I've done a good job." And then they'll pan to like a guy on the show who like laughs at it, but he could have been laughing at a completely different joke.
Yeah.
Like not a joke. He was laughing at a completely different situation.
Weight loss
like
is
an
not a
hour
joke,
before
Neil.
that.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean,
It's
that's.
so, it's so. Yeah, I figured this out. Listen,
It's
before I
completely.
started-
It's none of it's real. It's just completely constructed.
To
none
be
of
the
it is
biggest
real.
drama.
Yeah.
They just want to make it so they can create the biggest drama so they get the most people to tune in.
But people, the thing is that people freaking believe it. That's the
Yeah.
thing. You don't know what to believe. Could it have happened? It could have not happened. You have no idea because they can do whatever they want. They control you. And that's why I'm never going on Love is Blind. I'm not doing it.
You hear that,
Because
Love is Blind
think
producers?
You just lost
It's
your.
over, Love is Blind. It's over before it even began. You wanted me? You can't have me. Your producers stink. They edit the crap out of it. It's nothing but cuts.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I never even noticed before doing the show with you guys. I never even was aware of cuts. Like I just.
You were living in the Matrix, and then we like took you to the ship and unplugged you.
Yeah,
And you're rolling around in your jelly, baby.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah,
Ignorance
you're a
is
cipher.
absolute-
Neil's like, put me back in. Give me the
I just
steak.
want the
I
steak.
don't want to know that. I can't watch it anymore. I can't watch. I never really watched it, but like the Real Housewives, I can't watch that stuff.
No,
I'm
yeah,
not
it's
watching
insane.
My 600-Pound Life. I'm not watching.
Great British
Love
British
is
Bake Off.
Blind.
You ever seen Great British Bake Off?
I heard that one's actually really good.
Yeah, I like
Great.
it. I watched 2 episodes with Tito the other day.
But then
Great
I don't
British
know.
Bake Off?
The Great
What's
British
that?
Bake Off. It's like they bake
Oh, Bake Off.
in a tent.
Yeah, I can't watch that. I don't think I can watch Top Chef anymore because.
Oh,
What-
Master Chef, dude. I
But-
heard somebody actually was on Hassan Piker's stream. He was doing a bunch of like watching Master Chef, and he had this woman on who was like she was 18 years old. She was like the young sort of prodigy of the show, and she was just basically like, look, I don't even think the food they pick that tastes the best actually tastes the best. They just know who they want, and then they like compliment their dish as if it's amazing
Sure.
because they want that person to be.
That's
in
what
the
a
next
loser
episode.
says, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's what she
But
said.
also,
But
I mean,
some of them cut more than others.
Of
Like,
course.
there's
Love
some
is
shows-
Blind, probably.
Love is Blind is easily the most cut show I've ever. They cut it so much. I was getting furious.
You're getting
watching
seasick.
It was bad. I'm like, this is disgusting how they're doing this. This is disgusting. They're cutting everything. This could all be fake. How
Yeah.
do I know this is what's going on? I was so mad.
But
And they were
then-
making this one guy a villain where they were cutting it to make him a villain. I'm pretty confident in that. And that's why I'm like, I feel if I went on this show, they would cut it to make me the villain.
yeah, and then
Oh,
you're just
yeah.
known as that, and then they just like take one offhand or one thing you say, and then they run with it, and da da da. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it would be the best to be on. But I mean, you could say that about anything. Like, I think documentaries
Yeah.
are, of course, going to be.
What?
Yeah, documentary.
Slided in the-
Documentaries cut.
What do you mean?
I love how
mean,
we're talking about how like the world manipulates you in politics and
Yeah.
stuff, and Neil's just like, "Are you telling me reality television is edited?" And I'm like, "Yes, dude. We're telling that's
No, but it's not. That's not the point. There's editing. Okay, for example, like when we edit our past podcasts, when
Yeah.
we used to do that, we didn't really change the narrative of things. We added a
Yeah.
few words.
well.
here
That's
and there.
because that's
These
why
guys are
podcasts are.
editing-
Sorry,
These
go
guys,
ahead.
Jay, are editing situations.
They're
editing
constructing
the
things
narrative.
that aren't
Yeah,
even. They're
constructing
making
narrative,
things that aren't even real, and also the other side of it is that they actually have lines for the people. Like,
Yeah.
they will write lines for the people on the show and be like, slip this line in, or like talk about this, or like say that like your father was never there for you, and like that's why you acted this way, and ask them to apologize, and then you should like forgive him. Like they
I eat
script
Cool
a
Ranch
lot of that
Doritos.
Yeah, it just really. The more you know about it, once you're really able to see it,
Yeah.
you can't unsee it anymore, and it's just.
But that's a good thing. You shouldn't see it as a bad thing. Like I think that like
It's
you can.
unwatchable, Jay. It's unwatchable.
Tita said it was unwatchable. When
Yeah.
she basically was like, I tried watching Love Is Blind. She's like, it's unwatchable. I had to turn
Yeah.
it off. She said it's just.
You
It's,
wanna- you
she
wanna
said it was
know
too
another
cringy.
one? Another one I think is probably, I don't watch it, but I can only imagine, probably The Bachelor. or
Of course,
Bachelorette.
yeah.
That's probably edited to the moon, dude.
It
Yeah,
is,
any of that stuff.
but I don't know. With the
What do you mean you don't watch any of that? You're literally the one that told me to watch.
I'm
Love is
saying any of that. I'm not saying I don't watch any of that stuff. I said any of that stuff. Yes, is heavily edited. They
Blind.
like
How
I
do
just
you
said they.
watch it, Will?
It's kind of fun when it's so bad, and then it's just like a alternate reality where it's just like this is a
just
story.
unplug
it's
your
just
mind. dude.
trash.
Just
Exactly.
plug back in.
It's fun. It's fun, but you don't even know if that's actually happening. That's the bad part. It would
Yeah,
be
but it
fun
doesn't
if-
matter because I don't know these
Of course
people.
it matters.
Eh.
Of course it matters.
No,
I don't know, man. I think all reality TV is just very produced and like
Yes.
it's scripted, it's edited, it's like not real at all. It's just filmed in a style that looks more like a documentary style than like they're like in a studio and people are like rehearsing stuff. It's just like more free flowing than that. But I think that's why podcasts are popular now, right? Because people like the authenticity. They like what.
Yeah. Well, and then that's
Look,
why
by
Jay
judging
was
by all
trying
of our
to
viewers, they love
say that from the beginning. Like, I want to do podcasts that are unedited. I don't want to spend a lot of time producing this, taking out stuff that isn't funny or whatever. It's like, let's just play it and give the people the unedited real version of it instead of how we want to manipulate it to make ourselves look good or be extra duper super funny or whatever, right?
Yeah, and it's like people can sniff out that inauthenticity. If Neil figured it out, everyone can figure it out. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, there's a lot of people who just, like you said, a lot of people who believe it and they don't think it's fake at all and they think it's real. And if you told them, they would argue against you till they're blue in the face saying, no, it's real. So you're right, Neil. Like, people believe it.
I just don't want to be manipulated. I think the thing I hate the most is how much manipulation they're getting away with, these producers and these editors and these shows. And
Yeah,
it's
that's like all
disgusting.
entertainment.
They're frauds, and it's embarrassing. No one should watch them. We should ban them. We should ban them. We should come together as a Who Invited Will family, and we should come together and ban them and don't watch them anymore.
I mean,
Let's start this grassroots.
Will, I'm looking at you.
I like Great British Bake Off though. We can keep that one. And there's a few other funny ones. Like the point of the show is to be funny.
It's being edited, but yeah, the food shows, like they cut like Beat Bobby Flay pretty hard, but it's still pretty good. And I know they don't change the narrative. So
Beat Bobby Flay, you're like the only person who watches that. It's
I've
like
never even heard of it.
Off-brand Master Chef.
Food shows, their editors,
they get the
morals.
pass.
They're better.
They have morals.
Oh, they have
They
ethics.
have
Yeah.
morals.
The
I
food's
trust
terrible.
them.
All the food tastes terrible, and it's also sitting out for so long. Like, think of how long to set up.
That's
all the
what I
shots, and
always think.
It's probably so cold.
Yeah, it cannot
Yeah,
taste good.
yeah,
I watched there was a reality show on them making it's like the best cocktails or whatever. Same thing. It's like by the ice melts and da 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 da, and well, they were saying the same thing, that they're like trying to draw up drama on that. Yeah, I mean, drama sells. That's why
Yeah.
CNBC is how it's the
How did
way
the
it
show
is.
go today, guys? Did you guys do okay?
I mean, it was fine. We talked about
I
politics.
yawned a lot.
Will was literally falling asleep, so that was a fun conversation.
There was a lot to talk about this week with the whole Bitcoin fallout and
We didn't talk. We didn't get into that, but
Sounds
yeah,
like
the
we'll
whole
have
Binance FTX thing.
FTX.
Oh, I don't know
FTX
that.
Can't even sell itself. Yeah.
One of the big FTX is an exchange, right? I haven't followed
Yeah,
it much.
FTX is an
Yeah, a
exchange,
big crypto
yes.
exchange basically went under, and like
Oh
And they're
no.
not able
Bitcoin
to sell
tanked
themselves.
and like crypto tanked.
Yeah, but the market blew up today in a good way. It's like 7.5% up. In
Okay.
The index.
Should have
But
bought.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. I'm exhausted. I've been talking forever at work, and I need to go home and.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in. You
Hope it
you
went well.
gave us a little shot of energy at the end here, so.
That's what I'm here for.
I call it the Scheider shot.
Yeah, you know how Will is with energy. That's not the ending song. You know how Will is with energy. Will just comes in here like he's literally, his eyes are watering because he's yawning so much. I'm like looking at him. I'm talking about politics. He's just 1,000-yard stare.
Well, you know what they say.
Fool me once.
Who
Shame on.
invited Will anyway? Am I right?
Heyo. Bow, 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 bow.
Got him.
All right.
All right. Love you, Neil. We'll see you.
Arrivederci.
All right,
Thanks
see ya.
everyone for tuning in. That was a show.
I end the show, Will. I end the show. But let's start with a little music. Oh, yeah. You hear that fade in, Will?
Oh, that's nice.
And now you can say it, Will. Now you can say, well, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Appreciate you all staying with us this long. Is that a little loud? Let's turn that down a little. Thanks for staying with us this long. The laptop's gonna die. The GoPro is very sad. So I think it's time for us to say goodbye. Next week, Thursday, we're gonna try to do this every week. I'll stream alone if I need to. I mean, I could have a better conversation with politics about politics with myself than I did with Will. But that's all good. No, I think it was good, man. I think it was better than we thought, and we made it through. And it's consistency, and that's what we're trying to do. So with that
thanks
said,
everyone. Have a good night.
Yeah. Bye, guys.